Good afternoon, all. You are again welcome to our webinar series. What we can do in this lockdown, and today's series we have Neelesh Bhatia. Neelesh is co-founder and CEO of Akadasia, and he's very creative, result-driven visionary leader with 30 years experience in the field of education, business, innovation, media, and technology. Previously, he was the founder center of spin-off, the Entrepreneurship Center at Singapore, and uh, where he was behind building the largest entrepreneurship network in ASEAN. Now at Academia, he is on the mission to provide free access to education to all. So I welcome Nilesh ji to our show. And
Thank you.
before starting this session, I just want to, about the background of your organization and the motivation to what drives you to start this venture.
Well, first of all, thank you, Manish ji, for inviting me here on this fireside chat today afternoon. And good afternoon to everybody, whoever is watching from wherever you're watching at the moment. It is about 3 o'clock here in Singapore. So, yeah. Well, a little bit of a background about Akadasia. We are basically a mission-driven edutech business based out of Singapore. And what we basically do is we are on a mission to democratize education. Now, what do I mean by democratizing education? I want to make sure that every student across the region has free access to technology that can be used for education purposes. So that's what we are trying to do in a nutshell. And the motivation behind this business is very simple. What I have seen is basically over the last couple of years that when I was in my previous role as center director at Singapore Poly, what I learned at that point was that around Asia, there are many schools and teachers and students who cannot afford education technology products, which enables them to learn from anywhere or at any time, right? Most of these technologies are fairly expensive, and even if they can use, even if they can afford it and deploy it on their campus for their students' use, most of the platforms are available to faculty and students only in English. So language is still a big issue, especially in countries like Vietnam, like Thailand, or even in the interior parts of India, where not everybody necessarily speaks English very well. So my purpose is primarily to democratize that access where anybody in this region, no matter which language or what economic background you come from, you should get access to technology that enables you to learn at no cost. So that's the motivation behind it.
And can you please tell more about your product and how Acadasia can help Indian institutions, school and SME to in their online learning platform?
Sure. So there are three key things that we do. So our platform is called Freeju. Okay. Now Freeju basically is a learning management platform that allows our users and customers to do three things. The first one is we train trainers. So all the teachers, all the lecturers, we provide them with training, which is basically pedagogy-based training. It is not about how do you use the platform. It is about how do you create content which is very engaging for the student from any digital platform. So it's a different mindset training, which we provide to teachers before they can get access to the platform. So that's one. The second thing is, once that training has been completed, we then provide access to the platform. Now, the platform Freeju is probably one of the most easiest platforms out there to use for any teacher, which basically the teachers can actually use the platform to create curriculum in very easy manner and in a very quick way, without having to really learn and be scared with technology. It is just a drag and drop, copy and paste kind of an interface. So the teachers find it very easy to use. So they can basically create curriculum on the platform. And the third thing that we do is once that curriculum has been created on the platform, the teachers can then allow the students to get access to that curriculum so that the students can learn from anywhere at any time, and most importantly, in the language of their choice. So if, for example, if the students want to learn, say, for example, all the lessons are in Hindi, they should be able to see the entire lesson in Hindi. They should be able to answer the assessments in Hindi, so on and so forth. So these are the three key things that we do through FreeJu, the platform.
And what is the key to deliver engaged, and what is the impact of this?
Okay. The key to deliver engaging curriculum or content to the students, it is basically how do you create your lessons. So in fact, just last week, we ran a webinar for some education professionals in India, where I spoke about how you can convert your classroom lessons for online learning. Now, at the moment, if you see the current scenario, I don't really blame the teachers, because the shift to online platforms has pretty much happened very, very suddenly. So you have teachers who have never been on an online platform, let alone taught on one, who are now suddenly going online to teach. So what they're doing is basically they're taking their classroom lessons and then they're applying it online. That is the worst thing that they can actually do, because that is not how online learning works. For online learning, there are several other things that the teacher needs to be aware of. For example, what is a platform that you're using to begin with? Not everybody may have access to very fast internets. Not everybody may have access to more than one computer, and sometimes the family, father, mother, two kids, everybody's locked down at home, and they might only have one computer at home which everybody needs access to. So the teacher needs to really think through about how they're delivering curriculum, what platforms they're using, how long or how short the courses are, and how are they communicating with their students, because the way you communicate with your students online is very different. I've also seen a lot of teachers use various online video chat platforms to deliver live classes. It's not the most recommended way to actually deliver a class at all. So there are several ways to kind of look at it from a pedagogy perspective on how to make your lesson very, very engaging. Now, in terms of the impact, to answer the second part of your question, in terms of the impact, well, for us, we are a mission-driven business. For us, the entire business is all about impact. How many students can we make a positive impact on? How many teachers can we train? Because the more teachers we are trained, the more engaging content the teachers will create. The more engaging content that the teachers create, the more students will like to learn. So you can see the repercussions of just training alone can create huge impact. And because, in fact, the business model for our product is quite disruptive and unique as well. We don't charge anything for the technology. It's free. So schools can actually use the technology for free. So that actually should really make the teachers and the administrators in the education industry think about how they're deploying systems and what kind of positive impact they can bring to their students and their teachers.
So there is one question from Siddharth Jain I am displaying on the screen, and he wanted to ask how soon the platform can be implemented and put to use by any institution. So how much time it will take to implement, and how much time it will take so that the institution can use this platform to their students.
Sure. Great question. Thanks, Siddharth. So we can actually we can deploy the platform on your campus within 7 days. And actually 7 days, why? Because before you deploy the platform, we basically get your teachers to go through a training program first. And this training program is delivered through the FreeJu platform. And it is basically a 4-day program where we have facilitators from Singapore who basically guide your teachers on how they can create engaging content. So once that training program is completed, at the end of which all your teachers would have already created one lesson on the platform. So at the end of that, we then give you full access to the platform. So for us to be able to deploy, it's very, very quick. because it's completely cloud based. So there is no hardware requirement on the campus. Everything's cloud based.
So, Nilesh, you talk about the some institutions are using WhatsApp and Zoom for their e-learning. So, can you please tell more about why it is important for a education institution to consider deploying a e-learning management system instead of using free tools like WhatsApp and Zoom? So, right now institutions are using only WhatsApp and Zoom. So
Right.
why they need a particular learning management system for their institutions?
I think that's a great question. So let's break it down into two parts. Okay, one is the delivery of the lesson, and the second part is the security part. Okay, so let's look at the delivery of the lesson. So currently, if you're using, say, WhatsApp, every time now as a teacher, you're not going to be just teaching one class. You might be teaching maybe five different classes. So every time you are creating a group of that one class, so you'll be basically creating five groups on WhatsApp. And every time you have a new lesson, you're basically sending them a PDF file on WhatsApp. And in that chatter of WhatsApp, there are so many messages coming in and out and in and out. A lot of students will probably tell you, "Oh, I don't know. I didn't get this PDF. I don't know where the lesson is. Can you please resend it to me?" And if there is, say, for example, if you have to change the lesson suddenly, or if you want to change your lesson plan or the assessment or whatever, then you have to send them another whole PDF. And this, ding dong keeps on going on, which at the end of the day amounts to the kind of the time that the teacher spends just uploading curriculum, answering questions for students, and just replying to messages, and things getting lost. The time taken is quite a lot when you add up the number of classes that you're doing. So at the end of the day, any education institution also needs to look at the cost to performance ratio. How much time is the teacher actually spending just communicating with students back and forth through WhatsApp or any of these kind of platforms? It's ridiculous. With a learning platform, the entire curriculum is already on there. And once the curriculum is on the platform, all the students need to do is basically log into that platform and access the curriculum at their own, at their own time. They don't have to go back to WhatsApp, try to search where is lesson one, or where's the lesson that I read about 3 weeks ago. On the learning management platform, it is all systematic. So if I want to go to the lesson 3 weeks ago as a student, I can just basically log in and find the lesson very easy without having to disturb the teacher. So that's as far as WhatsApp is concerned. So the second thing is on Zoom. I think Zoom, everybody already knows about this. There's a lot of security concerns which have been raised. Now, yes, Zoom has gone on to say that we've kind of encrypted the platform, and that encryption works. But this is how the encryption works. It's not end-to-end encryption. So what happens is the um, the video that you are basically recording on Zoom, although it is encrypted from your end, it is decrypted at Zoom. So the people in Zoom can actually see whatever you're doing, right? They can actually see, if they want to, they can actually take a recording of that. And because the thing is, what they do is your video goes from your house to the Zoom office, wherever that might be. They decrypt it there, and from there they re-encrypt it and send it to your students. So in that process, if the company in Zoom wants to kind of copy your videos or whatever and do whatever with it, they can do it. So it is not a full end-to-end, encryption kind of a system, and that is why you see there's a lot of cases where what is now known as Zoom bombing. People just come in if they have access to your Zoom account. They will come in, and there have been cases. In fact, in Singapore, for about 2 weeks, they banned Zoom for all education institutions. Only after they made a policy decision that all Zoom chats need to have password protection. Okay, so then now they're still using it, but it is also important to understand that yes, video chat is important. It's a very important part of an online learning platform, but it is how you use it as well. So currently, what I see is that there are a lot of teachers are doing live lectures on Zoom or any of these video platforms to 40, 50, 60, even 100 students. Now, think about it let's just take a step back, right? If you have a 17 or an 18-year-old student in your classroom who is finding it very, very difficult to focus in your class, how can you guarantee that he or she is actually being able to focus in your Zoom lesson? It is very difficult. And more than that, if you look at the user experience as a teacher, how many small windows do you have open? So if you have 40 students, you'll have 40 small windows opened up on your screen, and you won't even know, you can't even see in such a small window as to which student is really paying attention and which student is not. And I've also heard arguments where teachers will tell me, oh, but we constantly point at students and we ask them questions. Great, you can do that. But how many times can you stop your lesson? How can you make sure that every single student has understood the concept and is able to deliver whatever your deliverables are? It is not easy. So that is where a learning management platform comes in, where a lot of the learning is self-directed by the students, and then they have timelines to adhere to so that they can deliver their projects to their teacher during that timeline. So when the teacher meets the students, he or she does not have to meet all 40 or all 100 students at one time. They can meet the students in smaller groups and pay more focused attention to the student, and to make sure that they have really understood the concepts before moving forward. So there's a different way of looking at it. So that is why a learning management platform becomes very, very central to any school. You need to have this because all your documentation, all your lessons, everything is on a central system, which is fully protected. It's secure. And because at the end of the day, all the curriculum that you upload is IP and it belongs to the school, and that needs to be secure. So, if you send something on WhatsApp, it's basically, it's on WhatsApp. Anybody can basically forward, as a student, I can forward your lesson plan to 10 other people who are not in the class. How do you stop that from happening? On a learning management platform, I can stop it, because if you are not enrolled in my class, you can't even see that lesson. And you can't just download anything and anyhow. So those are the key reasons why it is important for schools to really consider looking at a learning management platform rather than using these free tools.
So, Nilesh, you talk about your platform, Freejo. I
Yep.
think this is the platform you talk about.
Yep.
So, can you please tell more about this platform and how institution can, if an institution can directly go to your website and sign up, and obviously they need your help and all the things. So, tell me more about this, platform.
So, Freeju is an online learning management platform. It basically is one of the most easiest systems out there for the teacher. The way we've designed this entire platform, so okay, if you look at all the learning platforms out there, all of them are good. It doesn't matter which one you use. All of them actually do more or less the same things that we can do, right? But it's not about technology. For us, it is about focus. More than the students, we are more focused on teachers, because we believe that if teachers cannot use the platform easily and quickly, and they're unable to deliver content which is very engaging for the students are not going to learn anything, no matter what technology you're using. Okay, so we are focused 100% on teachers. We make sure that the platform is absolutely the easiest thing for a teacher to use to create content. So once they have created the content, then we make it very easy for the teachers to enroll students in their class and then give them access. So as long as the student or the teacher has access to a mobile phone, whether it is Android or Apple iOS, or a website, Safari, Google Chrome, Firefox, doesn't matter, you have access. So as long as you have 3G, 4G, Wi-Fi, no problem, you can use it. And like I said earlier, for us to be able to deploy it, it is very, very quick. The moment the teacher training is done, we can deploy it within 24 hours after that. The teacher training takes about 7 days to finish. Basically, it's a 4-day teacher training program that we provide, but we give teachers 7 days to finish it, because we understand that they might be having other things to do as well. So although it is a 4-day program, we give them 7 days. Now, what are the unique things about Freeju? First of all, we can customize the language. So if the school says, I want the platform in Hindi because we are a Hindi medium school, no problem. We can customize the entire platform in Hindi for you. Okay, so that's one. And when I say customize the platform, I'm not talking about the lessons only. I'm even talking about the buttons, the menus. So all the entire website, everything will be in Hindi. So it becomes a very easy for a Hindi medium student to also learn. Okay. Second thing that is unique about the platform is the fact that we integrate many communication tools right into the system. So, for example, if you're looking at classroom management, so we have integrated a technology called Slack right into the platform, which allows teachers to very easily create a classroom. Within that classroom, they can create a group which has all students in it, a second group which you can have breakout rooms with only a few students in it, and then you have individual students. So if you want to communicate directly with a particular student, you can do that through the system. We have also integrated video chat. Now again, video chat, depending on what the school wants to use, they can use Zoom if they're already using it, or they can use Jitsi. But the way we've integrated it, that link is connected directly from the learning management platform. So anybody cannot just randomly click on it. You can't forward that link to people. It is only available to your students in the platform. That's it. So it's quite secure in that sense. So that is also built in. Then the other thing is, in terms of the certifications, we also give an option to the teachers, the schools, if they would like to issue their certificates, whether it is diploma, whether it is degree, whether it is an attendance certificate, whether it is a sports certificate, they can issue their certificates from Freeju using our blockchain technology. So what is that? So when we issue the certificate, it is not a PDF file, it is not a JPEG file. Because PDF files and JPEG files can easily be copied, they can be forged, they can be tampered with. I could have taken the exam, but my friend can actually take my certificate, change my name to his, and tell employers that, hey, I did that exam. So on our platform, using the blockchain technology, that is not possible at all. So because it is a blockchain-based certificate, every certificate that the student prints out eventually has a unique digital ID to it. So as a prospective employer, when they give their certificate copy to the employer can actually go to the website and check whether the certificate is real or fake. So those are some of the very unique advantages that we bring to the platform. So how do you get access to it? Very simple. All you need to do is contact our country manager, which is Madhukar in Varshni. He's based in New Delhi. And if you go to our website, I think my website address is there below my name. If you can go to our website, you can find Madhukar's contact details there. You can also, through the website, book a demo. So we can actually provide you with a 1-hour in-depth demo on how the system works. So you can decide. And once you decide to come on board, the rest of the process is very quick.
That is a very great tool, I think, for institution. And but for every institution, the cost is very important. So
Yes.
I understand the cost and depends on their requirement and uh, the strength of the students and the number of teachers. But what is the minimum cost, if you tell the minimum
Sure.
from which amount the institution can start with?
Okay, so it really depends. So unlike other platforms which charge per student, we don't do that. In fact, we don't charge for technology at all. The technology is actually free. What we do is we charge for the actual training program that we use to train trainers. So depending on how many teachers you have on your campus that need that training and the number of teachers that are eventually going to use the system, we will charge you based on that for the training program. So the cost can vary. It typically starts anywhere from about 2.5 to 3,000 US dollars upwards. But having said that, that cost is only a one-time cost, meaning to say it is not a recurring cost that you need to pay every year or every 6 months. No, it is a one-time cost. That's it. You pay that amount once. Your teachers get training first, and then once your teachers are trained, they get access to the system, which you can use for your life. You can enroll unlimited number of students, and basically you can upload all your curriculum as and how you need, and use the system in whatever way you need. The only other charge is based on the certifications. So if you decide that you want to issue your certificates on the system, Then there is a per certificate charge, a very nominal fee that we charge for that, but that is up to the school if they want to do it. Yeah, so it's a very cost-effective platform. So if you say, for example, have say 40 or 50 teachers, when you start dividing the cost of about say $3,000, $4,000, divide by your 40 teachers, it's nothing, because they are actually getting trained. They get a certification for training from Singapore. They get access to the full free juice system for use for life. Your students don't have to pay anything ever. So where else can you get an offer like that?
I am sharing on screen Madhukar email ID. It's madhukar@akadasia.com. And if any institution or schools or SME want to contact with Akadasia, they can contact with their country manager, Madhukar. His email ID is madhukar@akadasia.com. And Nilesh, it was a very informative session for us and institution also, so they can deploy the learning management system in their institution or school in very 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 quick mode. I think every institution must come forward, and they will like to deploy any e-learning platform into their institutions and schools. And there is one comment from Vinny. She is saying very informative session. And Siddharth asked one question, and he is saying, "Thanks, Nilesh, for addressing my question. Well answered."
Thank you.
And we have short of time, and before closing, again, someone is thanks Nilesh. One more comment. So it was very informative session, and I want to a quick closing note from your side. So at this time, institution can utilize their time, and quick closing note
Sure.
from you, 2 minutes.
So, well, first of all, thanks for the opportunity, Manishji. I really appreciate it. But as a closing note, all I would like to tell to all the viewers out there is that you're not alone in this. And if you need help, all you need to do is just reach out to our team at acadasia.com. We are there to support you. The entire platform is teacher centric, and we are there to support you and your teachers. So if you're looking for help on how to quickly migrate your lessons to online, please do reach out to us, and we will do whatever we can to help you in that migration and to make the process as seamless and as painless as possible. But having said that, the last thing is, whatever you do, stay safe. Yeah, thank you.
Thank you so much, Nilesh,
Thank
for
you.
this session. And in near future, we will love to discuss more about the e-learning platform, because right now this is the need of ours. So
Yes.
in next coming weeks or next coming months, people will definitely deploy learning management system in their institutions and the school. And again, we need your help if
Yeah.
someone stuck on that platform. Thank you so much, Nilesh.
Thank you. Take care. Stay safe. Bye bye.